Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Birmingham WTA 125. Eala, partner fall in first round doubles. Eala and partner Rebeka Masarova showed solid teamwork on the grass courts of the Birmingham WTA 125 tournament in England. Eala's first grass event following the clay court season. The duo put up a strong fight but ultimately fell in a close two-set match, 4-6, 4-6, to the more experienced and second-seeded pair of Ellen Perez and Storm Hunter in the first round. Eala returns to action on Tuesday for the opening round of singles play, where she faces world No. 152 Linda Fruhvirtova of the Czech Republic. Eala is seeded third in the tournament and currently holds a world ranking of No. 73. It was also a tough day for top seed Alicia Parks, who was upset by a wild-card entry in the first round of singles. Eala is fine-tuning her game in preparation for Wimbledon later this month, where she will compete in the main draw of the women's singles for the first time. In 2024, she reached the third round of Wimbledon qualifying. Grass and Grace, a first-round exit in Birmingham. The grass courts of Birmingham shimmered under a pale English sun, the kind that couldn't quite decide whether to bless the day or sulk behind clouds. It was June, and the WTA 125 was already humming with the sounds of thwacked tennis balls, squeaking soles, and murmured tactics exchanged behind towels. Eala stood at the edge of court 3, taking it all in. At 19, she had played on courts from Melbourne to Madrid, but there was something about grass, its slick unpredictability, its noble lineage, that both thrilled and unsettled her. Birmingham wasn't Wimbledon, no, but it whispered of center court in every blade, every bounce. Her doubles partner, Lucia Romero, Spaniard, seasoned, tenacious, jogged over from the baseline with her racket twirling between fingers like a conductor's baton. "You ready, Pekeva Tormenta?" she teased. Eala grinned. Little Storm. It was what Lucia had called her after their first practice together. As ready as the grass will let me be. Their opponents were waiting at the net, two British wildcards brimming with energy and intent. Not seeded, not feared, but hungry, and sometimes hunger outweighed history. The first set began like a whispered promise. Eala held her first serve with an ace down the tee. The crowd, small but supportive, clapped politely. Romero followed with a clever service game of her own, using slices and angles that confused their opponents. 2-2 turned to 3-3. Then a breakpoint emerged. A messy, chaotic rally with volleys kissed just above the net tape, cat-and-mouse footwork. A looping lob that neither side could claim confidently. Eala went for a smash, and missed. The British duo whooped. 4-3, advantage home. From there, the rhythm cracked. The chemistry that had flickered so brightly in practice began to unravel like a frayed wristband. Eala's backhand, normally a weapon, was mistimed. Romero's lobs, usually artful, were half a step too short. The first set slipped away 6-4. Eala wiped her face, looked up at the cloudy expanse, and breathed deeply. Grass was a strange world. She knew clay. She had learned to love hard courts. But grass was fickle. Grass was memory, momentum, and mischief. Lucia, ever the veteran, tried to recalibrate. "We're thinking too much," she said on the changeover. "React. Feel it. Don't fight the surface." Eala nodded. "Let's start over." They broke serve in the first game of the second set, a glimmer of revival. Eala hit a drop shot so feathery it looked accidental. Then, 2 games later, a cruel net cord betrayed Romero's second serve. The British team pounced. They took control again. It wasn't that Eala and Romero played badly, it was that their opponents played with nothing to lose. Big serves, bold returns, fearless net charges. A team that had no history and no pressure. By the final game, the scoreboard read 6-4, 5-3. The crowd sensed a conclusion. Eala served. Her toss faltered in the wind. She double faulted. She shook her head, adjusted her ponytail. Tried again. Lucia's voice rang out softly. "Relax. Play your game." But the final points were blurs. Sharp volleys. Reflex returns. A passing shot that clipped the sideline. Game. Set. Match. The handshake at the net was respectful. Their opponents beamed. Eala smiled too, though her heart thudded with disappointment. In the locker room, She sat with her shoes untied, grass still clinging to her socks. "It's okay," Lucia said, slumping next to her. "We've got the rest of the summer." Eala looked at her. "I wanted this one." "I know," Lucia replied. "But sometimes the court has other plans." Later that evening, Eala walked alone through the grounds. Matches continued on other courts. A low hum of tennis life carried on. Vendors packing up, volunteers laughing, chairs being folded. She passed the main stadium, quiet now, and sat on a bench overlooking the practice courts. Her phone buzzed. A message from her coach back in Manila. "Grass is patience, not power. Every loss has lessons. Take them with you. Proud of you." Another message from her brother. A meme of a cat holding a tennis racket with the caption, "Next time, they won't see you coming." She laughed. Even in defeat, the world spun kindly. She watched a younger girl, maybe 12, hitting balls on a side court with a coach feeding them gently, her strokes raw but full of promise. It reminded Eala of herself not long ago, her first WTA match, her first wild card, her first loss. She had always bounced back. Tomorrow, she'd hit the courts again. She'd study this match, not to wallow, but to refine. She'd work on low volleys, short bounces, serve placement on grass. She'd find another tournament, another partner maybe, or even the same one. Romero had been gracious and wise. Perhaps they'd click better next time. Because that's what tennis was. Not just about aces and rankings and round wins. It was about grit, about showing up, about collecting losses like stones in a river, each one shaping the current, smoothing the edges, guiding the journey forward. Postscript. Back in the Philippines, headlines would report, Eala, partner fall in first round of Birmingham WTA 125 doubles. But they wouldn't tell the whole story. They wouldn't describe the swirl of emotion, the learning and loss, the silent vow made on an empty bench after sunset. They wouldn't know that the little storm was just gathering force,